Hey guys, we're back. This time we're going to be taking a look at Italian vehicles for Gale Force 9's Tanks game. This time we have the M14 41. It's a little, I guess, a light tank is what you'd consider it, but we'll get right in and take a look. There's a look at an assembled and painted one there, that real high sitting turret. It's actually an update to a previous model tank that they used. They put a slightly bigger engine in there, but the thing was really weak on armor and really weak on firepower, but there were a lot of them. The instructions here for the Italian tanks are almost identical. The entire chassis is all based on the same tank, so the difference is going to be the top part of the hull here and the turret in this case, and I think you get a couple different options for turret as well. For our cards here, you only get the one, the M14 41, 12 points. As the Avanti special rule, which goes with the Italian tanks. 6 initiative is pretty good. 3 damage is pretty light. I mean, I guess it's average. 0 armor, though. And that 4 hull means you're kind of a fragile target. Then the Avanti special rule there is when you're within a measuring arrow of 2 friendly Italian tanks, you get +1 to your armor. That one's kind of nice, and then a little bit of fluff there on the bottom. The nice thing about these is they're dirt cheap, so you can like mass field them and outnumber your enemies. For our upgrade cards here, first one we have is a unique hero, Luigi Arbib Pascucci. I'm sure I butchered that. I don't speak Italian. He gives you +2 to your initiative. Your Italian tanks also gain +2 to their initiative when they're within a movement arrow of this tank. Again, incentivizing you to group up your Italian tanks to get the bonus from this and the Avanti bonus that they get for the faction. Next we have just a generic commander, and they like their risky keyword here, I guess, is what they go for with the Italians. But for 2 points, when this tank suffers a critical hit while defending against a tank that's within close range, you may draw a second critical hit. If you do, choose one to apply. Basically, it's giving you incentive to be right up in the opponent's face. If you do take that critical, you draw 2 cards instead, and you pick whichever one's lesser for you. It can be useful in certain situations, but as they put it, risky being right up there in their face and taking that extra damage. Next, we have our risky radio operator. At the start of the movement phase, if this tank's within close range of an enemy tank, this tank and all friendly tanks within 1 movement arrow gain +1 initiative till end of the turn. Again, giving you that incentive to be right up in their faces, right up close, and a bonus for keeping your tanks grouped up. Next we have Risky Driver, and you don't subtract defense dice from this tank when it's close range. This goes into play with the other ones. You're getting those benefits for being right up on top of people. This basically negates the bonus your opponent gets for you being right up in their face. Very nice combo. And then we have a couple doctrines here, and one of them, I'll put that one in the back, because that one's kind of interesting. But first one we have here is Believe, Obey, Fight. And this one's when you're within close range of an enemy tank, this tank gains +1 armor. Again, playing off those bonuses that want you to be right up in your opponent's face. Next we have Always Forward Italy. It's +1 to your initiative during the movement phase. And crew cards with the risky in the title cost 1 less point to equip to the tank. We already saw the risky driver, risky commander, risky radio operator, and I'm sure there's more out there on other tanks. So it really makes those things affordable, really plays together. There's a good synergy between all the upgrades there. And we have this one, which is very interesting. German support. You'll notice it comes with a German flag on there, despite this being an Italian expansion. And what it does here is it gives you Allied Italian. This tank can be added to an Italian platoon. They can only take German or global upgrades. So basically it allows you to bring a German tank into a non-German force, where up until this point you could only play matching factions in a single platoon. Now you can mix and match by adding some Germans to support your Italians. Very nice thematic card there too. Then we get to our model spruce, and this is a pretty small tank, so it's a tiny spruce too. It's like 1 sheet. And See, we have our tracks there. And the hull is really weird on this. This is the lower hull. The upper hull has this big like hole in it. It's this piece is just for support. So you don't have to put the front and rear on separate. It's all one piece there. Then we have our different guns here, along with some fuel canisters. Some various stowage things, some extra wheels. Tarp there for camouflage. And then we have both options for our turret here. So you can actually make this as the M41, which uses this piece here with your little front machine gun, and then you have the turret pieces here to assemble the turret with your choice of guns back there. Or we have this turret here, which is shorter, flatter, has a fixed gun port on the front. This is actually for the Semovende. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but it's more of a tank destroyer, kind of inspired by the German Stug. And they give you the parts to make either or on here, which is kind of neat. It was based on the same chassis. That's really the only difference is that upper hull. They took the turret off in favor of a much larger fixed gun. So it's cool that you can build both on there. And there's a look at our completed M1441. And the turret is movable here. And I didn't glue these on here yet. They make really nice tabs on them so you can take this part off. And you have your assembled lower chassis there. And you can actually swap in the one from the Semovende. I'm still not sure I'm saying that right. Put that clips in there. There's a little like tabs in the front. And you can pretty easily switch back and forth without even magnetizing them. So that actually came out nicer than I thought. And it'll let you play them as either or of the tanks. And that's a look at our Italian M1441. Overall, it's a very nice light tank. Definitely can't take a lot of abuse, but there's a lot of cool combinations of the cards here you can use to get those bonuses. You can boost up your initiative to a crazy high amount. You can boost up your armor a little bit. You got the driver that makes it so you're not being penalized for being up close, which works well with all the other cards. Due to the way it's designed, the way the factions bonus works, you're going to want to run multiples of these. They're cheap. You put a bunch of them together, you run them in a group, and that's where you get the bonuses that really make them a threat. It's not like a huge target on you like some tanks. If you're playing Germans and you run a Tiger, everybody's going to be gunning for that Tiger because they know it's a heavy hitter. With these, all of your tanks are kind of average or so. There's no one to single out, so you're going to have 5 or 6 of these swarming around, and they're not going to know what to shoot at, and forces your enemy to either try to concentrate fire on one or spread their fire out where they might not take you out. So a lot of interesting strategies can be done with these. I like the fact that you can build both models so you can play it as either or. Definitely the coolest thing in here is the German support card that allows you to add those German vehicles into your platoon. Gives you a little bit of support right now since I think the Italians only have access to 2, maybe 3 tanks currently. So it allows you to bring in some of those German vehicles to supplement your lines and boost up so you can have a nice heavy hitter or a heavy tank in there to use as a damage shield to protect the rest of your forces. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for our look at the Italian M1441. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.